Hello, good evening. I welcome you all to the second day of our orientation. And like I always do, I would like to ask one of us to give us an opening prayer. So please put up your hand if you are in the spirit enough to give us an opening prayer. God bless you.
Please let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our dear Lord and Father in heaven, you are the creator of the heavens and the earth. All things are known to you, and all things that happen are permitted by you. We thank you for how far you brought us in life, how far you brought us this year, and how far you brought us as far as the post-first degree LLB is concerned. It is our prayer that as we are here for the final orientation, Father, you will grant us the intuition, the insights, and all that we need to take this journey and come out flying colors. We commit all our friends and colleagues joining us virtually and those on their way here. May they join us peacefully, and may all that we do bring glory to your holy name. May your peace be with us this day and always. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. If you're a believer in the prayer, I want to hear a sounding amen. God bless you. God bless you. So to kickstart, I would like to appreciate and acknowledge the presence of Miss Rachel Hazel with a round of applause, please. Dr. Kweko Enison is also in our midst. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. Mr. Boyde is also here. Thank you very much. So without wasting much time, we'll call on our very first speaker to address us on the examinations and plagiarism. With a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Kweko Enison.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Good evening once again. And I think congratulations are in order. The journey already has been long. It's been quite a difficult one, getting here. The process has been very laborious. And since our sister has put us in the spirit, let me say that many are called, but few are chosen. And you happen to be the few who are chosen. So congrats, once again. My role here this afternoon is to talk to you about examinations and plagiarism. And I'll keep it short and sweet. At least I'll try. As I said, you should always be very careful when you give the microphone to a teacher, because we talk a lot. But I'll keep it short and I'll be out of here. Now, I tell myself that when we bring people here, and when I say here, I'm talking about the School of Law. We tell ourselves that we are going to, or we are trying to train people to be lawyers. So the emphasis really is not on examinations per se. The emphasis is to make you a good lawyer. That is what we need to do. However, in the process of making you a good lawyer, we have to have a way of assessing you. Unfortunately, if you come up with the best form of assessment as opposed to an examinations, I'm sure we'll be very happy, to adopt that. Because in essence, you study a whole lot of things in the course of a semester. And then everything is reduced to a 3-hour examinations. And if you do not do well, then they say, you have failed. So in as much as we are training you to be, lawyers, and I emphasize that the focus is not on examinations. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot take the examinations as serious, as you can, because that's the only way we are able to assess you. Now, one other thing that we take very seriously here, apart from attending lectures, is the exam. Now, it is the exam that will help us, as I indicated, to be able to know who should be progressing, who should not, and who should go home. Okay? And we take examinations very, very seriously, here. Now, one of the things that you learn quickly is the fact that we operate on some system or some level of trust. So typically in examinations, you will not find, 5, 10 people standing in front like soldiers, trying to police you. But make no mistake that we are all still very vigilant. We do not take examination or practice lightly at all. Of course, there are the university rules when it comes to examinations malpractice. If you engage in any form of examinations malpractice, that is one of the quickest way you'll find yourself out of the school. Because we are training you to be part of a profession that is noble, that is based on some level of integrity and then also trust. So if you start cheating in examinations, then it means you are not fit to be a lawyer. So you should take that very, very seriously. Now, with respect to the rules of examination, it is no different from any examination that you have taken, in your life. I tell myself that in addition to all the rules, all you have to do is just apply common sense. The university says that for examinations, you have to be seated at least 30 minutes before the start of the paper. Now, I'll tell you for a fact, I'm an examinations officer. I hardly enforce the rule that if you come in 10 minutes, 15 minutes to the exam, I'm not going to walk you out. But the one thing that I say is that you are doing yourself a lot of disservice. When you come in early, it helps you to settle down, get your mind in the right frame to write the exam. One of the things that we do here, typically when the examination is going to be an essay or a problem question, you are given some 15 minutes to preview. So this is 15 minutes that you are not writing. You're only previewing. And if you're smart, that 15 minutes, you can use it to plan, the outline of your answer. So that as soon as they say, start work, you are well into that paper. Some people will wait and come in 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes just when the paper is about starting. So they rob themselves of the 15 minutes that they would have had, to preview the examination. However, there's a rule in the university that says that if you come in after 30 minutes of the start of the exam, then you cannot write that exam. And that one, we enforce it to the letter. If you are late 30 minutes to the examination, guess what? You are not writing that exam. What you mean, therefore, is that you have to wait to the following year to write that exam. Yes, and that one, when it gets there, look, we will enforce it to the letter, no matter who you are. This is the only place that when you come here, all of us are reduced to size. Yes, so please make sure that you take note. Now, in the course of the semester, you'll notice that all of us will try as much as possible to be friendly. But I'm sure that the LSU will disagree with this my statement. And part of it is because we've also had COVID and all that. So the very beautiful lady that came up here and did the introduction, I was asking my colleagues, who is that? But I said, I've never seen her before. Yes, and I hear she's the LSU secretary, correct? You are the member of the LSU. Very well. Because of COVID and all that, we are doing online classes and all that. So we hardly, see each other and we meet each other. But let me say that even prior to COVID, there are some people that refer to, the lecturers at the law school as helicopter lectures. You know why they say that? Well, they say we fly, then we land. As soon as we finish teaching, then we are gone. Now, that may be true, but it also does not mean that we are not accessible and we are not available. I say that you have paid your school fees and we have to teach you, and you must make sure that you get your money's worth. Now, anyone that has contacted any of us and would have asked for either a meeting or a conference. These days, we are on WhatsApp groups with all the students, and they have access to us. 10 a.m. In fact, I said 10 a.m. 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Somebody calls me at 11 p.m. and says, "Sir, I want a recommendation." Oh, so can't it wait tomorrow? So we are very, very accessible. But I'm making this statement to say, that prior to the examinations, we are your best friends. You approach any of us and we'll be more than happy to help. But people go out of their way, to help. But as soon as it is examinations time, we are like robots. We don't care who you are. We will not help you. That's what it is. So make sure that if you need any kind of help, you ask for that help before examination, whoever you are. Once it's examinations time, there's no help. And once the examination is written, please, it's the paper that we mark. You can be whoever you are. If you are failed, you are failed. It's as simple as that. So make sure that you take advantage of that. If you need help, make sure you reach out and you get that help. My sister will talk to you about people that have special needs. I noticed that there are some people that will have special needs, and yet they will still insist that they want to write the exam with everybody else. If you have special need, it is your right to be given extra time during the exam. So make sure you take advantage of that. And I'm sure that you expatiate on that. Now, handwriting. There's my brother here who is a police officer. I won't shy him, so I won't single him out. But he will bear with me that when you go to the police station and you're writing a statement and they give you that sheet of paper, you start from the left-hand corner, the very top, that edge there, and you write all the way, to the bottom right-hand corner. You write in the margins as well. You don't leave any space, because that piece of document that you are writing, that statement, you will use it in a court of law against you. We don't want a situation where anybody is putting anything anywhere. So that's why they say you should write it that way. Please, that's not how you write exam. Exam, there are margins. The margins are not for you to write in. Now, you say some of this and somebody say, you too, Charlie, tell us something. This plus one thing that you're telling us. Every year, people do it. They write that exam. They do not leave any space, nothing in the margin. They do not use paragraphs. So you start reading that paper. You just be reading, maybe some your child or some your wife or something annoys you. You raise up your head like this. When you go back, you have to go and start from the top. Very annoying. So make sure you are using your paragraphs as well as you ought to. It's very simple, but you must adhere to that. Now, there are some strict rules with respect to the format of examinations. I'm only drawing your attention to it. Your specific lecturers will speak to you about that. It is very rudimental in the way we write exam. And it is for a particular reason why we make sure that that is so. Because you are training to be part of a profession, and the profession has its rules and regulations. So you have to make sure that you stick to that format of examinations. Of answering questions. The last thing that I'll say about the examination is your handwriting. I beg you, it's human beings that are going to read. If you write and you write like some hen or some chicken that is playing in the ground, you cannot make head or tail of it. It's very, very difficult for anybody to mark. We are human beings as well, in as much as we pride ourselves that we do our work and we do our work well. You notice that everything that you write, we read it. It's not some other universities where you write and they just look and they give marks. We read. So make sure that your handwriting is as clear as possible and is as legible as possible, and you do very fine. My last message to you is plagiarism. Now, you don't have to worry about plagiarism when it comes to examination, because at the exam, we are asking you to reproduce what we have taught you and all that. But for some of your courses, you may be asked to write, essays, assignment, and all that. In your legal system class, you'll be taught, how to do, referencing and citation and all that. If in the outside world, there's something called, an offense that is very grave, which is murder. We all agree that when you go and kill somebody, that is a very grave offense. When it comes to the university setting, our form of murder is plagiarism. So if you plagiarize, it's a capital offense. That's how we say it. And as a matter of fact, you can plagiarize your own work as well. We have instances where people pass off their work in one course for another as well. That is plagiarism as well. But in essence, plagiarism here is passing off someone else's work as your work. Okay? It is not enough for you to copy ditto. You understand ditto? Yes, you copy it verbatim. And then you now go ahead and put some source there. That is still plagiarism. If you have copied it word for word, then it should be in inverted commas, right? So that we know there is a quotation. And if you have written 3 pages and 2 pages is in quotation, then we know that you didn't do the work. Correct? Good. So I think that is what I will say for now. As I indicated to you, your individual lectures will fill in the blanks, in the course of the semester. But before I take my seat, one piece of advice that I give to everyone is that, yes, here, the teachers are very, very busy. I'll be honest with you, okay? But you should not interpret that to mean that we are not accessible. I drive home the point that we are very, very accessible. All you need to do is reach out. And once you reach out, you'll notice that we are available, okay? If I don't have any business doing here, I am not here. That's what it is. If you need me, you have to reach out. And it goes for all my colleagues. Reach out as much as you can. Like I said, we are also being paid, to come over here and then to come and teach you. And the learning does not stop in the classroom. It continues as well. So when you have difficulties, please don't wait till the last minute. If you wait till exam, it'll be too late. At that time, I'll tell you that there's nothing I can do whatsoever to help you. So once again, good luck and best of wishes for the semester. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kweku Emerson. Indeed, we'll reach out. The lecturers are our friends. And last night we were told, as long as you show respect, you'll be perfect. You won't have a problem. Next on our list, we'll call Ms. Rachel Hazel to tell us about the students with special needs and also the role of our academic advisors. Please, a round of applause as she comes. Good evening, and I'd like to welcome you again to the School of Law. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 2 things. I'll first speak on behalf of the chairperson of the Welfare and Wellbeing Technical Working Group of the University of Ghana, and as well as in my own capacity as the representative for students with special needs at the law school. Okay, so the first part of my talk, which is about the welfare and well-being of students. Now, as part of our vision as a school to improve the experience of students at the law school, we have in place a welfare and well-being group, which is an institutional arrangement where students are given the opportunity to talk to lecturers about their difficulties and challenges in the law school. And as staff or faculty, we come up with some of the solutions, if not all. Now, as Dr. Innocent said, we are accessible, okay? We are available to help you. You may not see us around, but it doesn't mean that when you need us, we won't be around. You'd come to know that the lecturers at the law school are very kind, compassionate, and generous. And it all depends on you. Once you reach out to them, you would get them. So for the technical working group 5, that is the welfare and well-being group, what we do is to institute or establish the Student Advisory Week. We organize programs, we help with scholarships, we help with course and lecture evaluation. That's what we basically do. And the members are Dr. Mansea, Mr. Gordon Jogoto, Mr. Asabagna, Ms. Mensabonsu, and myself. You've met some of them. You'd meet the others later. An important function that we perform here is the academic advisory week. And for this program, what we do is we have, um, what we do is every year when students are admitted, okay, we assign lecturers to them as their, or we assign the students to the lecturers as academic advisors. And what these advisors do is to assist you in your academics or with your academics. Any challenge that you face academically, just send an email to the lecturer, book an appointment, and have the lecturer assist you. As Dr. Anything has said enough about that, so I will not belabor that point. All I'd have to say is just keep the relationship strictly academic, okay? For your academic advisors, keep the relationship strictly academic. But if it goes beyond personal, if it goes beyond academic, then you can approach any of the members of the welfare and well-being group, and they will assist you. For the academic advisors, will post it on the notice board. You'd have your academic advisor and then the students that are have been assigned to them. Book an appointment, send an email, and you have a lecturer to assist you. Please, please, please take advantage of this service that we are providing at the UG School of Law. I can assure you, you will not get this anywhere else. Your academic advisors are like your mentors in this legal profession. And trust me, they are more than willing to assist you. All you have to do is reach out to them. So that is basically about the student or academic advisors. Now I'll talk briefly about the special needs representative of the School of Law. Now for students with special needs, you know you have to register with the OSSN at the university, Office of Students with Special Needs at the university. Even though they are there to assist you here, we also have our special representative, and I'm in charge of that office. I'm assisted by Ms. Mensobunsu. Together, we help students with special needs to enjoy their stay here at the law school. We make special concessions for them. We accommodate their needs. As long as you have a medically certified need, we are more than willing to accommodate you. Traditionally, we have those who are physically challenged, hearing impaired, or visually impaired. But as science keeps growing and we keep identifying new ailments, we are ready to accommodate you as long as you get a doctor to certify that your need comes within those recognized in medicine. And why am I stressing on the fact that it has to be medically, certified? Let me give you an example. Let's say you go to tutorials, and after spending hours of reading a case, you go to your tutorial and your lecturer or your TA tells you that you do not understand the case, or you did not understand the case, and you are so upset because you spent hours reading the case. So your mental health is in shambles because your lecturer says you don't understand the case. For that, it's not a special need. You just have to go to the library and read. Okay, that is not to say we don't take mental health issues seriously here. We do, but this is the law school. This is the best law school in the country. You have to be resilient. You have to be strong. You have to be grounded. There are certain things that will shake you up a bit, but be prepared mentally for it. But apart from that, if you can get your doctor to satisfy your particular need, we'll assist you. And what we do is to, for your exams, we give you more time than what we give ordinary students. So OSSN calculates the time. We liaise, I'm a link between the OSSN and the school. I bring to their attention the needs of the students in the class, the special needs students. I bring them to the attention of the lecturers and together we work on how we can improve your stay or your experience and academics in the law school. So in conclusion, please take advantage of the resources, the services that we are providing at the law school, especially the academic advisors. And for those with special needs, take advantage of my office, and together I'm sure would improve your experience at the law school. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hazel. Like she said, be resilient, be strong, be grounded, be grounded. I would like to call on the president of the Law Students Union, by name Mr. Jojo Afun, to tell us about the university academic policies briefly. Please, let's acknowledge him with a round of applause.
Good evening and welcome once again. I'm standing in for the school administrator, Ms. Susie Lamte, and I'll simply be outlining the university academic policies. So I will simply start by addressing names of junior members of the university. So as an institutional policy, the university does not accept requests to change or amend names or other records of students. So if there was any error prior to your application or made during your application, per the institutional policy, you will not be able to change it unless the change is by marriage, and it should duly be gazetted and attached as evidence. I'll move straight to the remainder of the offenses, and we have the academic and non-academic offenses. So the academic offenses are those strictly in relation to your schoolwork as it pertains to writing of exams, submitting of scripts, etc. So the following are offenses if a student knowingly forges any other or in any other way alters or falsifies any document or evidence required by the university, or circulates or makes use of any such forged, altered, or falsified document, whether the document or record is in print or electronic form. If you use or possess an unauthorized aid or aids, or obtain unauthorized assistance in any academic examination or term test, or in connection with any other form of academic work. So this is where Dr. Innocent's work actually starts in the example. So for those of you who may be using smartwatches like the Apple Watches, the Samsung watches, all those unauthorized aids, as well as pieces of papers which you may write certain notes on. We had an encounter with that last academic year, and Ms. Hazel had to be very stern to address that issue. So please, unauthorized aids, no matter the form they are in, electronic, in print, are not supposed to be used in any examination, whether it's an IA, an interim assessment, or an exam. If you are found guilty of this, there are much more stern consequences or repercussions than what ensued last semester. Our lecturers were very lenient by simply canceling the interim assessment. But if you are caught, you face a whole range of sanctions, which include, being dismissed. Yes. So if you impersonate another person or have another person impersonate you at any academic examination or term test, or in connection with any other form of academic work, you are in violation of the school's academic policy. If you represent without acknowledgement of its authorship, as Dr. Innocent rightly mentioned, the policy on plagiarism, if you plagiarize any work without the due citation or due acknowledgement of authorship by another, you are in violation of this university policy. And this is very important for all the term tests that you'll be submitting online. So if you submit without knowledge and approval of an instructor to whom the work is submitted, any academic work or which credits has previously been obtained or is being sought in another course or program of study in the university or elsewhere, you're also in violation of the university's academic policy. Aside these, we also have certain non-academic offenses. And these range from assault to other forms of conduct that the university proscribes. So without prejudice to the application of the national laws by the university, no junior member of the university shall assault another person or threaten any other person with assault, whether sexual or otherwise, or commit a battery against another person. And as time goes on in your tort class, Ms. Hazel will introduce you to assault, tort, and battery, and you get to better understand that. As part of the non-academic offenses, no junior member shall cause or threaten any other person with bodily harm or cause any other to fear bodily harm. You should not knowingly create a condition that unnecessarily endangers the health or safety of other persons. You should not threaten any other person with damage to such person's property or knowingly cause any other person to fear damage to his or her property. And finally, you shall not engage in a course of vexatious conduct that is directed at one or more specific individuals, and that is based on the race, ancestry, place of birth, origin, color, ethnic origin, citizenship, sex, sexual orientation, creed, age, marital status, family status, disability, receipt of public assistance, or record of offenses of that individual or those individuals that is known to be unwelcome and that exceeds the bounds of freedom of expression or academic freedom, as these are understood in the university policies and are accepted practices, including but not restricted to those explicitly adopted. You'll find out that a lot of laws are worded this way, and as time goes on, you find your way around them. So all these regulations can be found in the Junior Members Handbook, and there's a soft copy available at the university's website. So these are basically the university's academic policies, and I look forward to none of you being in flagrant violation of them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In the next 10 to 12 minutes, we'll invite Mr. Joe Anta to give us an address on, on the facilities and resources of the University of Ghana library system. But please, if you have a question, those online and those present, if you have a question, you can just put it down. We have close to 5 minutes before the end of tonight's session to address some questions of yours. So if you have questions starting from now, you can just put them down. With a round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Joe Anta.
Thank you so much, and good evening to you all. And once again, let me welcome you to the University of Ghana School of Law. As a law librarian, it falls to me to explain to you the resources that we have in our library, as well as the global picture of the University of Ghana library system. That is what I'm going to do. I will try as much as possible to speed through. By the time that she gave me, I'm wondering. I've congratulated, I've welcomed you already. Let me start by saying that going through your academic work from here to the professional level requires much learning. And for that reason, we need to become intimate friends in the library. I can tell you on authority that all the first-class materials that this school has produced had intimate relationship with the law library. And I believe from today, we are going to have that relationship. one writer has said that, I think Glavin Williams says in the Learning the Law, that it is not because lawyers know much more than others, but it is because they know where to find it, where to find the information. We all know that lawyers are learned people, or they are reputed as learned people. They are reputed so because they are able to work very fast. Anytime they are confronted with issues, they know exactly where they have to get the information from. And they know the authorities that they have to use to resolve legal problems. And so this is the time you have to equip yourself with those skills and the knowledge base, so that in your practice, when there is an issue and you raise legal issues, at least you'll be able to know exactly where to get the information from. And all will depend on the foundation that you have built here. Whether you use the law firm library, or you use academic library, or any library that you go, the skills that you acquire here will take you through, even internationally. So the principles that you have to learn on how you have to use the library are lifelong learning skills that you never miss when you learn them very well. Now, I take you to the global system. I'll give you a global overview of the University of Ghana library system. The University of Ghana library system, is one system that has put all the libraries together. In other words, the University of Ghana library system is made up of about 30 constituent libraries. And these libraries have a specialization. Some specialize in building law collections, some history, some business, studies, some psychology, some history, English, sociology, etc., etc. But we all bring our resources together so that we have a union catalog, so that anybody who wants to search or wants to access any of these materials will just go to our union catalog, which is online. We call it UG catalog. You navigate it and you see all the books that we have been able to put together over the years. Now, these libraries, as I've said, support learning, teaching, and research. And once you are able to register, you are duly registered as a student, you qualify to use the resources in any of these libraries. In fact, I would also talk about our own library, but I just want to finish with this, then I'll come to that. But briefly, the School of Law Library, as we see it today, operates from two sites. We have one site down there, and then we have this site. The old site has most of our old books. And what we do is we operate the library there on closed access basis. Which means that anytime a material is referred to students for them to access, we just go there and fetch it. Otherwise, all the materials that you need are housed here in our new library here. I have a brief history also to share. You see, the School of Law Library was started in 1959 at the BAM Library. But over time, it was then Department of Law. But over time, it became Faculty of Law, and then now School of Law. So the law school and its collection was started at the BAM library in those days. And it has to migrate here. As you see, it's brief history. At the same time, the BAM library was also started somewhere in 1948. That is 11 years after starting the BAM library. After starting the University of Ghana, they had to put up the School of Law and then the library as well. And the most important thing is that the collections that we put together over there are still available here. Because in law, sometimes the older the material, the better. And we have all these materials in the library, especially at the old library. The picture facing you, you see the old library, the building that looks like a sinking ship is the old law library. It is flanked by two parallel blocks, which used to house lecture rooms and faculty members' offices. It is there still, and I'm showing you this. I'm showing this picture to you because sometimes we may have to go there. We either go there with our staff or whatever to fetch materials there. It is part of our school. Of course, this is a new building, and this is our new library. If you haven't visited it yet, after this program, I don't know if you can come. Otherwise, we arrange on a different day for a library tour so that you visit our collections over there. Now, I take us back to the University of Ghana library system. Like I said, it's a system that is made up of constituent libraries. And the services there are replicated in all the libraries, about 30 libraries, making up of departmental libraries, hall libraries, and so many others. Even campuses, Accra City Campus is also part of this family. Now, governance. We have the university librarian superintending over all these libraries or exercising supervisory oversight, over all these libraries. Like I mentioned, all these libraries have specializations and you qualify to study in all of them. And these are some of the constituent libraries. If you visit the catalog, the online catalog, you see that the libraries are there. And if you want to access material, you can choose a particular library that you think the material will be available in, or you search through the entire system and you'll get hints as to which libraries have the material that you are looking for. Now, I want to talk about some of the units and the services available briefly. We have the bindery. The bindery is responsible for binding of books and restoration of books. So when our books are worn out, we send them there. But if you have a personal book that is worn out or you think it has to be restored or be put back in shape, you have to send it there, they will do it for you. If you write your thesis, long essays, and they have to be bound, that is the place that you have to take and they will do it for you. We have digitization units over there. And what they do is they digitize our records. Any record in paper format would easily be digitized into a digitized format, which can be uploaded and can be accessed by anybody at any time. Of special importance here is the fact that we, that is the School of Law Library, we have decided to digitize our collections. And the target is to digitize 20% of our collections within 1 year. We've started, as a result of which we have even created an online electronic library, which we have currently uploaded some of the documents that we have in the library. In fact, the aim is to create a seamless access, library, which would, be accessed anywhere at any time. So that is for digitization. And of course, that also facilitates the institutional repository of the library. The institutional repository of the library is just like an open access platform. where all materials in the library are hosted. And by so doing, it increases the global visibility of intellectual output of lecturers in the university, and even your own work. If you finish your thesis, it will be digitized and uploaded. Circulation. The BAM library, lends material to students. You come as an undergrad. I know you've done your first degrees already, but your status here is an undergrad, right? Because it's a post-first degree law that you are pursuing. And so you go there, you qualify to borrow 4 books for 2 weeks, which can be renewed after another 2 weeks. And these books can be recalled at any time, especially if somebody else has, placed a request for those books. And within 72 hours, you have to return the books for others also to have access to. We have e-resources making up of databases, so many books that we have subscribed to, so many journals, etc. If you register and you go online, you see all these resources which you can use. And then Braille products. We don't have Braille products here. I think Madam Hazel talked about special needs, students who have special needs, especially the visually impaired students. The BAM library has such products. They have, magnified, computer screens for the visually impaired. They also have audio books. So for those who are physically challenged, the library at the moment has not built the capacity for such, equipment and devices, etc. But the BAM library has. So that is where you have to be going. Then they have research commons. This is a place which has to be booked in advance. And faculty and students meet, they exchange ideas, research ideas, etc. In fact, the idea is to make it comfortable for researchers to, sit down comfortably and plan research work. And the knowledge commons, we all know, for undergraduates. Then the BAM library has 24-hour access facility as well, where students can go there 24 hours to read any time of the day, any time of the night. You can go there and study. Okay, all right. Now, the units that I've mentioned also come with service products. So we have the UG card, that the University of Ghana catalog. Now, the catalog is electronic or is online. So you can even, as you sit here, you can just manipulate or fidget with the devices you have, and you can access all the collections that I have talked about that exist in the constituent libraries. Then we have the UG space. The digitization that I mentioned has a byproduct, that the UG space, where institutional repository makes sure that all the digitized records are uploaded. And then we have off-campus access. Off-campus access enables you to access the collections that I've talked about, even when you are outside here, or even you've gone outside Accra, wherever you find yourself, if only you have duly registered and you have your registration authenticated, you can access these databases and the services that I'm talking about. We have A to Z databases. A lot of them are relevant for the study of law. So please take your time and research. And then ask a librarian. This is an online chat within, online for users, and then librarians interacting, asking live questions, asking questions, etc. You can take advantage of that and ask questions if you have issues. Then electronic book, e-books, then search our databases. This is a feature in a database. If you are able to use it, you can get one-stop shop all databases that you want. And then we also have article requests. Now, the University of Ghana cannot subscribe to all journals on this earth. So they have taken the time to subscribe to some recommended important journals. So in your studies, if you have a particular article that after having tried you cannot get, it could mean that the university has not subscribed to that database. But then if you're able to notify them, they will just query the system or even contact any known service provider, then get the article for you. Past exams questions, we have them there, and I believe some of you were able to access them to prepare, even when you were going to write the entrance exam. But for the semester-based exams questions, we have not yet uploaded them for some reasons. That is, the exams that you write here, not the entrance exams, but the exams that you write here, we have not uploaded them. Now, amongst the things that we create, every librarian in the university is assigned a particular field. Now, those librarians are known as LibGuide developers or subject librarians. I am, of course, a LibGuide developer for law, and so I've developed that. Now, a research guide is just an aggregation of all research tools available online. You just put the links together. Anything at all that you think will be appropriate or that you think will be relevant to the study needs of your subjects, you just create it and then you link, and then they will just, it's like a one-stop shop for, studies. It's just meant to aid studies. So this is what I have done for law. Of course, I've not updated it for some time now, but I'll just go quickly and start updating for your sake so that you get good stuff to study. Of course, this is the Eugene catalog. It's the first thing you see in any library at all. When you come to our library, we have it there, and it helps you to search author, title, subject matter, anything at all that you want to access. You can query the system, and it helps you. There are many, techniques. You can use wildcards, truncation, the Boolean operators, etc. Time will not permit me to go through all that. But when you get the time and you come to the library, we will study together and you're able to equip yourself. Remember, it is lifelong learning. You want to become a lawyer, you need to equip yourself with skills, which you can apply to quickly access information and get the best out for your clients if there is an issue before you. And then, of course, the law library, I've talked about it, but the vision of the law library, just like the vision of the school, is to be the best legal research library in Africa. We just follow that. And in the process, we build our collection to satisfy the information needs of our students. Now, how do we build our collections? Our collections are built on Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution. You know, Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution talks about sources of law. So, in effect, we build the collection of the library based on the sources of law. Of course, there are other pieces of legislation which as well influence the activities over there. The Copyright Act, of course, helps us to manage the books people want to photocopy, etc. Then we have the Data Protection Act. As our subjects or as data subjects, we have to make sure that the information that you give us, we protect the information so that we don't necessarily expose. Now, Electronic Transactions Act, the internet and other related activities, you know, the whole legal system is moving e-justice, and digitization is the future. And this also affects or influences the activities of the library. Protection, procurement law also influences our operations over there. Now, basically, the library organizes its materials on these two classifications. We have materials divided into two. We have primary sources and secondary sources. And we have arranged the library in such a way that the primary sources, or those materials that are very important, are within an easy reach. You come, all our legislations is just by the immediate left of the library, right? Followed by our Supreme Court of Ghana law reports, etc. We have actually organized the place in such a way that you can access these materials easily. The materials that are of persuasive effect, like the common law materials and things, you see that they are on the first floor. That's the King's Bench, the Queen's Bench, Exchequer, Chancery, appeal cases, etc., etc. They are all at the top, whilst our own laws are just there within an easy reach. Of course, we have a display cabinet where new books that we acquire, as soon as they come, we display them. And then we share the titles on platforms, WhatsApp platforms, just to alert our users, the new books that we have received. And the monographs and journals are all secondary sources. They are there. When you come, we will take you through. This afternoon, I had to send the WASI students to the library, explain to them the various collections that we have and how they can access them and the importance of the laws and so many things. But for you, I think it will be a bit too late. So we'll find another time when you can come to the library, and then we go through all that. These are some of the law reports that I have talked about. The West African law reports, the West African Court of Appeal, the Ghana law report. Now we have other reports, the Ghana Law Times, so many other reports that are available. We also have the Hansard, we have pamphlet collection belonging to individual lecturers who have publications. We have stored them there, and you can access them as you come to the library. Of course, we have reports and encyclopedias. These are all secondary sources materials. Some, of course, the general government publications are the gazettes and LIs, executive instruments, and those ones are also there. Now, the monograph past persons have explained them already. And then our services, reader services, circulation. Of course, the library is a reference library, unlike the other libraries. A reference in the sense that you cannot borrow materials, or we cannot lend our materials to you for obvious reasons. We have built this collection over the years, and we have enough to pass around for everybody, but we don't want to create gaps in our collection by loaning books to people, no. But if the school is running a moot, and you said, oh, we need law reports to enable us to make our arguments, we will just give them to you, you finish, you return them. You need a book on short loan, you can make a photocopy quickly, and then you return the books. This is how we have been able to maintain the collection, all over these years. And then we have the ICT department. The ICT department is responsible for ensuring that we have Wi-Fi connectivity. You have installation. We have digital attorney, standalone database. And when you come, it will be installed for you at a fee. You pay for it, it is installed for you. You get all the Ghana law reports from 1959 up to date. Of course, the database hasn't got 2016, but we have 2016 Ghana law reports, and I think 2017. So what the database cannot afford, we supplement it, right, with the physical resources we have there, just to keep you going. And then off-campus access, I think I've talked about that already. Printing services are available at the ICT department. When you want to print something, you have an assignment to print, they will do it for you. Photocopy services are available. Of course, we apply the fair use rules. And then we make sure that we don't copy more than is due you, because we have to balance the interest of the copyright holder and then the users or the public. So those ones are also there. Then Sakai. Sakai is a learning management tool that the university has provided for lecturers to, it's like an extension of the classroom work. So assignments and distance education, etc., are conducted on Sakai. Our ICT lady is not around, but I think she will find a time to train you. And the Sakai, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and all those things, so that in case you are not able to attend a lecture, or a lecturer decides that the lecture should be held virtually, you will not be found wanting. Then hardware, if your machine is, you have hardware or software problems, they are there to help. And then student email activation. If your email has not been activated yet, you have to make sure that it is activated, because if it's not activated, you cannot get things from the university by way of correspondence, etc., etc. Make sure this is activated for your own benefit. I think they are trying to bail me out or clap me out, and I wouldn't want to experience such a thing because I have enough for you. So what we can do is that you can come around in groups, however you decide it, so that I take you through some of the things that I've not been able to address you on this evening. I think I'll draw the curtains here. Of course, there are certain do's and don'ts. But when you come there, those things are very important. Things that you don't have to do in the library. Very, very important. In fact, Mr. Bodu told me that I will have enough time, but she, being the MC, just truncated, just reduced everything. And it's so unfair. Anyway. But you told me, you know, okay. Oh, but you told me you could extend it, so I should be watching. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mr. Joe Anta, he's very passionate about the law. Please, his office is right at the library. So anytime you are in need of him, he'll give you in-depth knowledge about the library. Please, a round of applause once again for him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Please, if you have a question, like I said, we have 2 minutes, but other questions, please put up by hand. Other questions in the audience. Okay, so we have 2 questions from our online watchers, and I would like to ask any of our resource persons to tell us about it. Our very first question is that, what's the dress code and the color code for lectures?
Okay, so speaking from my own experience as a former student here, there's no specific dress code for law students at the UG School of Law. All we expect from you is to dress decent. Please be decent. No sagging of your pants, no shorts, outfits. Don't be exposing parts of your body here. In fact, the lecturers here, we won't look at it. We don't even care. But let's respect each other and dress decently, okay?
Thank you very much. Mr. Hunter, there's another question posed to you. What's the time for, what does it, was it a 24-hour? Okay, sir. Is it a 24-hour session for the library? What time does it start? What time do we open? What time do we close? The library, yes, please.
Of course, those are some of the things I've not been able to touch on. Some of the things I've not been touched. The do's and the don'ts and our opening hours. When school is in session, we open, normally from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Many years ago when we were here, it was 7:30 sharp. But now Accra has expanded to the extremes. So you have our staff who don't live close by, coming from faraway places. So at least by 8 o'clock, the library is open. And then by 8 p.m. But when we begin our papers, we close at 10 p.m. Again, in those days, we're closing at 12 a.m. But now it's not possible again, right? So, but we'll do our best to close at 10 as soon as this program starts, because we can all imagine, even some of your tutorials will end at 8:30 p.m. And so we will allow for maximum use of the library. At least once this program starts, once you come, today I discussed with my staff, once you come, we'll close at 10. And then weekends, we will have extended hours for you so that at least, but normally weekends and Saturdays, we open at 8 and close around 4. Sundays, we open at 11 and close around, I think, the same 4 o'clock. But with your presence, I think we are going to adjust things to make sure that you comfortably, use the library. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So just dress decently. Don't show any flesh. Don't show no flesh at all. And then the library is also open at 8 a.m. exactly. At this very moment, I'd like to invite Mr. Carbonate to give us the vote of thanks. Please acknowledge him with a round of applause.
I'm doubling up because I know you are very tired. Good evening to all of you. 2 tasks I've been asked to do. First, to do some quick announcement. The LSU tells me to tell you that we've taken due note of your complaint about your inability to register, and complaint official one has been lodged with the UGCS, and they're working on it. Those of us who have written our names and have not paid our dues, kindly do so. And those who have paid our dues and haven't taken our receipts, kindly do so. And then for those who are able to join us online, please, we want to have data of you officially, and so kindly text the number which will be put in the chat. It's called Jude, the treasurer, so then that you can put your details in the register. The latter bit of my task is to give a note of gratitude. And I'll first start with our faculties, Ms. Hazel, Mr. Bwedu, and Mr. Anta, for their time and taking us through that. And of course, to you, freshers and colleagues in the faculty. Thanks for making it, and we'll continue to engage even after this place. Have a good evening and a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And lastly on our list, like we started, we'd like to end with prayer. So our man of God can end us with a closing prayer. Thank you.
Shall we bow down our heads for a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for how far you brought us. You've enlightened us and you've granted us the opportunity to receive information that will make our journey productive and smooth. Father, we know we have been told and we have experienced the challenges that are yet to come. It is our prayer unto you that, Lord, you lead us, that you guide us and protect us. Take away from our path all impediments and grant us the discipline with which to excel in this program with fine colors. Guide us on our way back home. Protect us as we begin our course. And Lord, grant us your favor in all things. Bless the Ghana School of Law, University of Ghana. Bless all the students and faculty. Bless everyone who contributes directly or indirectly to the pursuit of this program, to the glory of your holy name. Pray this and many more. In the name of Christ, Jesus, our Lord and Savior, with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you so much for coming. My name is Miss Banaman. So anytime you see me, you can just say hi. Once again, congratulations and welcome to the University of Ghana School of Law. Have a good evening.
Ice cream.
I run this town now. Me.
Moja guno say